Seems interesting. What are you reading? It's about self-love. It says it's not selfish to prioritize yourself. I love that. I started with this book and it changed everything. Yes, it's about putting yourself first without guilt. Exactly. We have to make time for that. Thank you so much for watching the introductory part of this story. I truly appreciate you. Now let's go deeper. Let's continue with the narration on the story in the next video as we uncover the rest of the story. Please stay tuned and happy viewing.
Adesela asked thoughtfully. Adebola, is loving yourself the same as being selfish? Adebola replied warmly. Not at all. Self-love is about taking care of yourself, so you can truly be there for others. Selfishness is taking from others just to boost your ego. Adesela asked again, curious. So how do I practice self-love without feeling guilty? Adebola explained calmly. Start with boundaries. They're like relationship insurance. They prevent you from getting angry or burned out. Rest is also important. Your mind and body need recovery to function at 100%. You can't pour from an empty cup. Adesela nodded. That makes sense. But what about saying no to people? Adebola smiled. Saying no is necessary. When you say yes, only when you really mean it, your actions are honest, not forced. Prioritize your needs and invest in your joy. Doing things that make you happy isn't selfish. It helps you be a better, balanced person for everyone else. Adesela inquired, thoughtfully. So self-love isn't just about pampering myself? Adebola replied, gently. Exactly. It's an ongoing relationship with yourself. It includes self-acceptance, self-care, self-compassion, and self-protection. Loving yourself sets the standard for how others treat you, keeps your energy full, and builds resilience. Adesela asked, curious. And how does this help in real life? Adebola responded encouragingly. When you love yourself, failures or rejection don't destroy you. You maintain your value. You prevent burnout, take care of your health, and show up genuinely for others. Think of it like the oxygen mask on a plane. You must breathe first before helping anyone else. Adesela smiled. Wow. I never realized taking care of myself was this powerful. Adebola nodded warmly. Yes, you are the only person guaranteed to spend every second of your life with. Making that relationship healthy is the most important thing you can do. Adesela asked thoughtfully. Adebola, what really happens when someone doesn't practice self-love? Adebola replied gently. When you neglect self-love, you slowly lose yourself. You give and give without recharging. And eventually, you become emotionally exhausted. Adesela inquired, concerned. Is that why some people feel drained all the time? Adebola nodded and responded calmly. Yes, without rest and boundaries, burnout becomes inevitable. You overextend yourself and your energy runs dry. Adesela asked again, curious. But if you're helping people, why would you feel bad about it? Adebola explained patiently. Because overgiving without self-care leads to resentment. At first, you give out of love. Later, you start feeling unappreciated. Eventually, bitterness sets in. Adesela reflected quietly and said, so lack of self-love can actually damage relationships? Adebola replied thoughtfully. Very much. When you don't value yourself, you may tolerate disrespect. You accept less than you deserve because your self-worth is low. Adesela asked softly. Does it also affect your mental health? Adebola responded seriously. Yes. Without self-love, you constantly seek validation. Anxiety increases. Overthinking becomes your norm because your sense of worth depends on others. Adesela sighed and asked, can someone lose themselves completely? Adebola answered gently. Absolutely. When you live only to please others, you forget your own desires, dreams, and identity. Adesela paused, then asked carefully, what about physical health? Adebola replied firmly, neglecting self-love often means neglecting your body. Poor rest, unmanaged stress, unhealthy habits. All of these take a toll. Adesela summarized quietly. So without self-love, you empty yourself trying to fill everyone else. Adebala smiled slightly. Exactly. Adesela then asked thoughtfully. What about the other extreme? What happens when someone is selfish instead? Adebala responded calmly. Selfishness creates a different kind of damage. When you constantly prioritize yourself at the expense of others, relationships begin to break. Adesela inquired, why is that? Adebala explained, because people feel used or unheard. Trust weakens. Emotional connection fades. Adesela asked again, curious. Does selfishness lead to loneliness? Adebala nodded. Yes, when someone only takes and rarely gives, people slowly withdraw. You may gain temporary advantages, but you lose meaningful connection. Adesela added quietly, and maybe personal growth suffers too. Adebala responded thoughtfully. Exactly. Selfishness blocks empathy. Without empathy, emotional maturity is limited. Adesela continued. What about reputation? Adebala replied, over time, people may see a selfish person as unreliable or inconsiderate. That perception affects both personal and professional relationships. Adesela reflected deeply and said, so selfish gains may feel good for a moment, but they don't create deep fulfillment. Adebala smiled warmly. You understand it perfectly. Adesela concluded softly. So if you don't love yourself, you lose yourself trying to keep everyone. And if you're selfish, you lose everyone trying to keep yourself. Adebala responded encouragingly. That's the balance. Healthy self-love is the middle ground. It protects your well-being without harming others. Adesela nodded confidently and added, so the goal is not self-neglect or selfishness, but balanced self-respect. Adebala smiled proudly. Exactly. When your tank is full, your kindness is genuine. And when your heart is healthy, your relationships thrive.